Great day, second graders, as well as second grade families. It's Mr. Sargent here with the first video of 2023. Wow, I feel old, but it's okay because it's a new year. It's a new start for us, ladies and gentlemen. So I am super excited to have everyone back this week as we prepare for the last half of our school year. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about and a lot to do. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, let me say I hope everyone had a wonderful winter break. It's a great time to spend with family, to enjoy the somewhat okay weather that we've had here in North Carolina, and pretty much a chance for us to reset as we prepare for the upcoming second half of the year. Now, something to look forward to in the next couple of weeks, we will be having our second iReady diagnostic. So ladies and gentlemen, the one thing you should be doing most of all is getting on iReady as much as you can at home. Now, I would suggest about 20 to 30 minutes a day. And I would choose either math or reading in alternate days. Because, you know what? Practice makes better. And I've said that before, and the more we practice iReady, the better we're going to be at our reading and our math skills. So ladies and gentlemen, get on iReady, do your best, and try to do as much practice as possible before we take this next diagnostic. Now, as far as what we're going to be doing this week, I am not sure because, ladies and gentlemen, teachers are still on break as well. So I'm going to say in reading, you're going to be reading, and in math, you're going to be doing math. But today's video is not about that. It's about what we're going to be doing in science. Now, one big thing that we have this month, and it's going to be the central focus of this video, is at the end of the month, we have the science fair. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my favorite time of the year. It's a chance for all of us to show off our love of science. Now, before you get all stressed about it, one thing to remember is this. The science fair is not mandatory. It is totally optional. You can choose to do it. You can choose not to do it. And it's okay. It's not going to be for a grade. It's not going to go in the report card. The science fair is a chance for you to show off your love of science. And you already know that I love science. So that's why this year we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Now, for each one of the second grade classes, we're going to be choosing a different experiment and a different topic to do. All right. Now, our goals and our standards this year are pretty simple. We have number one, we have weather. We have number two, we have sound and sound energy and energy altogether. Number three, we have life cycles in the animal kingdom, which is what we're going to be focusing on starting this week. And number four, something we haven't gotten to yet, and that's energy transfer, heat transfer, different chemical reactions and substances. Now, what each class will decide this week is what focus we want to do for our class-wide science fair project. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating something that we can share with the rest of the school. We're going to be sharing an experiment, maybe a take-home, maybe something that they can do at home. But for the most part, we're going to show the rest of the school what second grade is all about. And I am super excited to do this project with you. Now, this involves no at-home work. This is just in our class. And once again, we already have the stuff here. So we're going to have some fun with science and create the best science fair projects ever. Now, that's as a class. What if you wanted to do one on your own? Is that okay? Well, absolutely. If you wanted to do your own science fair project, by all means, go for it. Students and families out there who love working on science fair projects together, this is a great opportunity for you to work individually to show off your love of science. Now, once again, we do have the 4 standards to adhere to, but if you talk to me ahead of time, we can talk about what you would like to do for a science fair project. Now, if you are going to do an individual science project, there has to be some sort of guide for you. So that is the focus of today's video, is to give you a guide of what your project should look like, the work that you should put in, and the fun you should have. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first step I think is the hardest, and that's choosing something that you want to research and you want to learn about so that you can create your own experiment. We don't want to choose something that we already know and we've already mastered. if we're going to do a science fair project, we want to choose something that we want to learn about, we want to experiment, and we want to be able to report. All right? So it starts off with your display. All right? We have a display here. This is a trifold display. This is the most common use or common thing that a science fair has. You can find these at Walmart, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, all around these different stores. All right? So let's talk about how to organize our trifold. Now, like I've said before, the hardest part is choosing your topic. So right on the beginning of your trifold, you should have a title. And your title could even be the question that you want to ask. Because if we look at the scientific method over here, you will see that number one is create a question. So your experiment needs to start with a question, something that you want to learn about, something that you want to investigate, and something that you can experiment with. Okay. Then that leads to number two, which is your research. Now, on your paper or on your trifold, you don't have to put everything that you put for research, but just some facts about your topic. So once you choose your topic, use Google, use some of the books I have in the classroom library, go to a library and find books on that topic and find out the science behind your experiment before you even do the experiment. And that leads us to number three, which is a hypothesis. Now, a hypothesis is just a guess. You don't know what's going to happen when you experiment with this topic. So all you need to do is make a guess. It could be, yes, it'll work. No, it's not going to work. Guess what? The great thing about hypothesis is you cannot be wrong. I'll say that again. On a hypothesis, you cannot be wrong. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. Those are your two options. Then you get to do the fun part. Number four is the experiment. Now, there's a number of places that I am going to steer you in the right direction of where to find some great experiments, or if you would like to create your own experiment, you're more than welcome to. But there are some great experiments out there that don't cost a lot of money either, that you can use to teach others who see your project. So for number four, go ahead and do your experiment. Now, one thing that works on a trifold are pictures. Taking pictures and using diagrams of what you did for your experiment, including even a model, will help you explain your science project even better. And then number five is analyze. Now, once you have done your experiment, you need to break it down and try to explain what just happened. Did your experiment work? Did it not work? Now, before I go any further, it's important to understand that 90% of experiments don't work the first time you do them. So don't give up. Try something, add something, take something out, change the experiment so that it can work. Ladies and gentlemen, the great thing about science fair projects and science experiments in general is the learning process of it and having fun while you're learning. So with number five, it is analyze. This is when you break down the information that you learned. What happened in your experiment? Did it work? Did it not work? What would you change about it? All right. That leads us to number six, which is make a conclusion. This is when you just say, yes, my hypothesis was correct. It worked. Or no, it didn't work. All right. But either way, explain why your experiment worked. What did you do that made your experiment so successful? And then number seven is report. Now, I'm not going to ask for a report, but what I will do is have you fill out something that looks like this. This is a lab report, and we can put this right on your display. So when you're all finished, you've done your question, you've done your topic, you've done your research, you've done your experiment, you've done your hypothesis, you've done everything. You put it together on a trifold like this, and you present it, all right? Now, at all times, you know I'm always here if you need help. I'm here before school, I'm here after school, I'm here during school. So anytime you have questions or need help with it, feel free to ask me. If there's some supplies that you need, feel free to ask me. If you need some ideas, feel free to ask me. All right? Now, we don't have a whole lot of time to get this done. In fact, I would like these to be turned in by January 23rd, which is about 3 or 4 weeks from now. All right, it's about 20 days. So should we have this huge, extravagant project? No, we shouldn't. But should we have a project that explains our love of science and follows the rules and follows the steps of what we did, that would be great. Now, once again, is it mandatory? No. We're going to be doing one as a class anyways. All right? But if you, as an individual, you as a family would like to do a science fair project, you got about 3 weeks to work on it. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck. And like I said before, if you have any questions whatsoever, I mean anything, feel free to reach out to me. You know how to get a hold of me. I am more than willing to help as best I can. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoy your last bit of break, and I cannot wait to see each and every one of you this week.